Yo, what's up guys, it's me, the Great What If here, back in a brand new video, and this is what if Deku was an ice dragon. Now, this ice dragon is going to be a quirk, so nothing more like specially or anything, no. It's just going to be a quirk. Now also, this is a Christmas special, and Merry Christmas to all of you. I hope you have a great day. I'm having a horrible day because, 1, I bought a microphone, 2, it doesn't fucking work, and 3, I'm really pissed off. And I am making this because it is Christmas and I'm in the spirit of Christmas. And I can't wait until this what if is done. So, enough of me and my rattling. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, like if you like it, dislike if you dislike it, and yeah, let's get right into this what if. So, we're gonna cut to Izuku when he's 6 years old. Now, Izuku, he's waiting at the door for his limited edition All Might figurine. Now, this is only made 1 out of 10. Only 10 of these are made. So he's waiting at the door, pumped up, he's excited, everything. And once the mailman just ding-dongs right in the apartment, he opens the door immediately and snatches the freaking box and closes the door. Instead of saying thank you or whatever, he goes immediately to his room. Inko says, Izuku? God, why did he do that? So rude. She immediately went to the door and opened and says, apologizing to the man who brought in. Izuku, he didn't care. He went straight to his room, he opened up the box, and was really excited for the limited edition All Might figurine. And he was just amazed. The coloring, this everything. It was amazing. And he just played around with it. And now, while playing around it for 2 minutes, he felt a sharp pain on his back and a sharp pain on his front lobe or his forehead. He didn't know what it was, or again, he didn't really care since he was just more focused on the All Might figurine. And he was just continuing on playing and playing until the back and his front, friggin' head was unbearable. He closes his eyes and just holds his All Might figurine and just clenching it. And without knowing, he turned the All Might figurine into ice. While Izuku is feeling this pain, he's just closing his eyes and just feeling this pain. He felt like he was gonna cry, but then suddenly the pain stopped. He opened his eyes and noticed that his All Might figurine, the limited edition All Might figurine, is covered in ice. And Izuku, who was, surprised, he accidentally dropped it. Again, he was surprised, and it broke into tiny little pieces. And Izuku just yelled out in sadness, "No!" And a bunch of ice started to sprout from Izuku's, where Izuku's sitting on. A bunch of ice started to spread out, and Izuku started noticing this and just says, What's going on? Mom!" And Inko just ran into the door and says, "What's wrong?" Izuku? Did you do this? Izuku says, yeah, but I don't know what's wrong. My All Might figurine. And Inko just says, well, that's karma. And 2, you have an ice quirk, kind of like your father. And Izuku sparked up and says, like Dad? And Inko just replies saying, yeah, enough of this. We'll clean this later. Let's go to the hospital and see what your quirk is. And Izuku says, my quirk? I'm gonna be just like All Might. Well, not shattered, but let's go. Let's go. And Inko just says, alright, give me a second. And while, Izuku's stepping, the ice seems to follow him. And Inko says, wait, you're staying in your room. Why? Calm yourself. Maybe the ice is reacting to your emotion. I'm not really sure. Just stay in your room and just chillax or cool down. Get it? Is ice cool down? Alright, whatever. Just give me a second. And Inko goes straight to his room, changes, and Izuku's still in his little All Might outfit. And Inko just says, we're going with it. And just grabs Izuku and says, "Alright, we're going straight to the hospital. Hopefully, you don't destroy the car while we're at it." Izuku says, "But my All Might figurine." Inko says, "Well, again, it's not your fault. I'll see if I can get you another." But Izuku says, "No, they're limited edition." And Inko says, Alright, I'll think of a way. And let's go straight to the hospital. Aren't you happy that you're gonna get your quirk?" And Izuku says, "Yeah, kinda, but no more of that All My Figurine shit. Sorry, bull. Now, excuse your mommy's language, but get in the car." Izuku got into the car, and she got in the car as well. They both went straight to the hospital, and they waited for a couple of minutes until the doctor comes and sees them. Once the doctor started to take analyses or whatever it's called to Izuku, they tested his blood and everything, and Izuku was just sitting on a chair, and Inko was right next to him, like same in canon. 3 minutes later, the doctor comes out of a room and just sits down and says, "Well, young Miss Midoriya, we have a couple photos here that we want to show you." He put up the first photo showing Izuku's front body and points at his forehead. "Well, you see here, it seems that scales are growing at your son's forehead right here." And he brings out another paper or another sheet with an x-ray. And it shows the front part of Izuku, but with only bones. And the doctor points out in the forehead again that there's something growing, probably a horn. And Inko was at first confused because no one in their family had anything about a horn. And the doctor says, "Well, there seems to be more." And Inko says, "Wait, more horns?" No. More about Izuku. See, he brings out another piece of x-ray, and is the back of Izuku. It shows that something is growing in Izuku's back. They don't know exactly what it is, but it seems to be some sort of wings. And Izuku says, "Wait, I'm gonna have wings?" And the doctor says, "Hold up, don't get too excited, please. We know what happened in the other room." And Izuku says, "Oh, sorry." Inko says, "What happened in the other room?" "Well, not only did your son here," he starts pointing at the Izuku's back in the picture. "Well, it seems that not only does he have wings, he has something else growing in those wings. I'm not really sure what that is." And to me, on the bottom of those wings near his seems to be something growing, but again, we're not very much sure. I think it will grow on as Izuku is more older. So Izuku will probably need to come back here a couple times. But instead of talking that right now, let's talk about Izuku's quirk. We learned that Izuku's quirk, or ice to be exact, is, well, as I said, ice. It seems that Izuku cannot control it at this time. See, other people with ice quirks can control it, manipulate it to their will, bend it and break it. But Izuku here is very, very unique, very special. Izuku can only control it through his emotions. Inko says, "Oh, I kinda get what you're saying, Doc. But there's a twist. Izuku can only use his quirk through hard emotions like anger or sadness or sexual, but we're not going to talk about that, not in front of him." And Izuku says to his mom, "What's sexual? What's sexual, Mom?" Inko just says, "Shh, don't talk about that right now. We'll talk about that later when you're older, okay? Shh." The doctor says, "Alright, it seems that Izuku's quirk he was only be able to control it via his emotions. I think he'll be able to bend it, but it would be very, very dangerous, especially with his probably anger management. Inko says, well, he doesn't have anything about anger. He's mostly like happy. Well, that's the problem. If he's too happy, it might spiral out of control, or he might not be able to control it. And it might be a problem while he's growing up. You see, a lot of things could happen. You see, he could be a broken heart when he's older. Maybe he is dating someone when he's older, and that girl or guy or whatever he thinks he, is. I'm not, saying anything bad, but it could, if they break his heart, he could either go one angry, very much sad, or depressed, which could, very much affect them in a way. So I want you, Inko, to look after Izuku here, but keep a close eye on him. Inko says, I could see that, Doc. Good. Now, boy, is there anything you'd like to say? Any questions? Izuku says, well, could I become a hero just like All Might? And the doctor says, well, you can become a hero, but there's a lot of risk in becoming that. And the only way to move your mind to becoming a hero is to train. Now, it could be from your emotions or a physical peak. I'm just saying, you need to train, boy, to control your emotions. When you're excited or sad or angry, your quirk can activate and possibly hurt people. Now, heroes don't hurt people, right? Izuku says, yeah, I'm sorry. No. You didn't do nothing bad, child. It's just that it's your quirk. You need to control it. Control via your emotions. Now, is there anything else? Inko just says, I don't think so. Well then, you may leave. Inko just says, alright, thank you. Come on, Izuku. Izuku falls behind, but not much emotion. He's not very much happy. Well, he was supposed to be happy, but having a quirk that activates by your emotions is kind of weird. Now, we're gonna cut to Izuku when he get home. Now, Izuku, he asks Inko if they could put All Might in a laptop like in canon. Inko does that, and Izuku just watches All Might and how he saves people. And he just wants to be just like him. Now, Inko comes into the room and tells Izuku to go to sleep since he has school tomorrow. Izuku sleeps kinda happily, trying not to activate his quirk. The next day, Inko drops off Izuku in his school, and Bakugo is in the front, in the playground, just showing off his cool explosions. See? Look at it. It's cool! Yeah, Bakugo, it's so cool. I know. I'm gonna be the best hero ever. Bakugo? Kachan? Yeah, Deku? Do you have your quirk? Yeah, I can control ice. Well, kinda. Let me see. I don't know how, as they say my emotions. Well, let me try something, Deku. And he started to spark a bunch of small explosions and throw it right at Izuku. And Izuku started to cry a little, and then ice starts to form from his hand. And Bakugo just says, whoa, that's actually a pretty cool quirk. And Izuku just says, Kachan, you're not supposed to hit me. And Bakugo just says, quit whining, big baby. Here. He hands his arm towards Izuku, and Izuku grabs the arm and picks himself up. Bakugo just says, come on, I'm sorry. Let me take you to the nurse. I didn't really mean... Never mind, let's go. And just grabs Izuku and just brings him to the nurse. They treat Izuku up, and Bakugo apologizes for doing that. He was in the wrong. And Izuku's happy. Kinda. He's trying not to show his emotions that much. Or exceed his emotions. Now, everything goes as the same. And by the age of, let's say, 10, Izuku and Bakugo are actually pretty good friends. Bakugo doesn't have like a bunch of groups that he hangs out. He just hangs out with Izuku. And by the age of 10, they start to train each other to become greater heroes than they are. And Izuku wants to control his power, bend it to his own will. But it's kind of difficult. And he remembered what the doctor says, that he has horns growing out of his, forehead and wings. But Izuku has never felt wings on his back or even a horn. So he asked Bakugo if they could train, get stronger physically and probably mentally. Bakugo at first was like, training? Fine, Deku, let's do this. We'll become the greatest heroes ever. We'll become the number one heroes. And Izuku says, yeah, let's do this. And they train, both of them physically and mentally. They were doing sit-ups, push-ups, the simplest things. Then later they started doing dumbbells, and furthermore, by the age of 15, they started to fight each other. This time, just for combat practices. But there was an incident. One time when they were fighting each other, Bakugo was just saying, damn, Deku, come on, push yourself to the limits. Use your quirk, damn it. I'm trying. No, you're not, Deku. You're just being lowlife. Come on. You're acting more like a quirkless person. And Izuku took this to heart and says, quirkless person. Watch your mouth, Bakugo. The ice started to form from the bottom of his feet, and then slowly started to caress through his body. He started to feel angry. So angry. The scales on Izuku's back started to travel through his body and into his hand. His hand started to turn into a dragon claw. His back started to open up. A one wing opened up, and it was as big as, let's say, 10 meters. And Izuku's eyes began to glow blue. So blue that it would look like a crystal. As Izuku walked straight towards his Bakugo, and something happened. Every step that Izuku took cracked the floor, and somehow Izuku altered the weather, and now it's snowing. And this is taken outside, right by the beach. And Bakugo is just looking at Izuku with his anger in his eyes, and just ice. Every step he took, the ground breaks and fills up with ice. He slowly walks towards Bakugo in a menacing way. Bakugo could just stand there and watch Izuku. Now that Izuku is close to Bakugo, and Izuku says, Bakugo, I advise you to not talk to me like that ever again. And Bakugo can just see the claw on Izuku's hand. It looked as sharp as any blade as you have ever seen. And Bakugo just says, yeah, Izuku, I will. And Izuku started to calm down. The claw in his hand seems to disappear and back to his normal human. And the scales seem to travel back to where his back is. And the wing started to go back into him. Izuku just looks up and looks straight at Bakugo, saying, what happened? I blacked out. What happened? Bakugo just says, I don't even want to know. I don't even know. Holy shit. Oh, you scared me there. Izuku says, I scared you? Shut up, Deku. Now, let's begin our fight. And Izuku readied up his hand and says, alright then, let's do this. Now they begin to fight, one-on-one. And Izuku, he's using partly his quirk. He's using enough emotion in his body, such as maybe happiness or something that's in his head. He's thinking of happy thoughts and using his ice while using it. Oh, that didn't make sense. He throws a huge ice, like a barrage of ice towards his Bakugo. And Bakugo can just use his explosions and just dissolve all the ice and turn it into steam. This gives Izuku enough time to rush into Bakugo and just beat him up. And Bakugo and Izuku, they're pretty much the same, equal to each other. And by this time, Bakugo and Izuku have all madly 6-packs. I mean, they're buff as fuck. They're like fucking canon Izuku. Like how you did with 9 months, that's how Izuku looks like, and that's how Bakugo looks like, but more muscular. Now, we're gonna cut to Izuku when he's 17. Now, Izuku is looking like this in the picture. He has rings on his hand, but he doesn't have the big ass earring. No, he just have the rings. While they're at school, Izuku's just, reading during school. He doesn't really care about studying. He is the smartest one in the class and the strongest so far. And Bakugo, he's the second strongest and I guess the second smartest. Which really gives him a disadvantage and just gets him even angrier and angrier. But the teacher comes in and says, well, students, we seem to have a transfer student here. Please be kind to her and please introduce yourself. The door opened up and a girl walked in. She faced towards the class and every boy just looked at her and every girl just looked at her in jealousy. And if you guessed it right, it's Ryuko Tatsume. Now, the teacher says, please introduce yourself. Well, my name is Ryuko Tatsume, but you could just call me Ryu. And some of the boys are just looking at her and, in lust. But Bakugo and Izuku don't really give much thought into it. Bakugo, he's just trying to think of a way to beat Izuku, while Izuku's just reading his book. He doesn't really, pay attention. And the teacher told her to sit right next to Izuku there. Now, every boy's just looking at her while she's walking, which made her uncomfortable. Izuku looked up and noticed that she's slowly walking towards him. But then Izuku notices that every boy is just looking at her in lust, and maybe they might do something to her. Izuku lets out a little bit of anger, and the room seems to be freezing. Some of the boys were just, shivering a little bit, and the teacher notices that Izuku's just sitting there, reading his book, and just says, whoever's using their quirk, stop it. Izuku, are you using your quirk here? Izuku just closes the book and just looks up and says, do you have a problem with that, Teach? The teacher shivers up and says, please don't use your quirk. We're in school boundaries, right? Izuku says, fine, and stops the whole cooling thing. Everyone in the class are now staring at Izuku, but Bakugo just says, pay attention to class, damn it! And everyone's just looking straight at the teacher. Ryuko is just looking at Izuku in confusion. Why did I say confusion? Confusion. She wondered why Izuku did that. And she didn't give much thought about it, but again, she was curious. But she just sat right next to Izuku and paid attention to the entire class. Now, Izzy in the classroom. The end of class. Now, Izuku's just packing his bags and everything and just getting ready to leave. Bakugo stops Izuku and says, "Hey, Deku, you want to come hang out with me? I'm going to probably get some ice cream. Want to?" Izuku says, "No, I'm good. I'm probably going to go train more." And Bakugo just says, "Damn, aren't you just a train wreck? Alright then, see ya." Izuku says, "See ya," and continues to walk off. Izuku takes a shortcut through a tunnel, and Izuku could hear something through the walls or to the underground. He didn't give it much thought and just continued on walking. Then he could hear someone right behind him saying, "Damn, kid, I need your body. Stupid All Might is getting me. Give me your body, kid!" And just lunges straight at Izuku. Izuku noticed that the slime was there, but didn't really give much thought. Once the slime grabbed Izuku didn't, fight back. He just let his emotions run through him. It was, pitiful. And a small bit of ice seems to come out of Izuku's body, freezing the slime. And Izuku can just hear someone yell, "I am here." And All Might just looks and sees a slime that seems to be carcerated in someone, which seems to be frozen. All Might was skeptical and did not know what was going on. And, Izuku just breaks through the slime and just steps out and says, "Oh, All Might. Nice to meet you, I guess." "Ah, young man, did you stop the villain?" Yeah, I guess. He was gonna hurt me." And All Might says, "Well, you're not supposed to use your quirk outside of, license and all, but, I'll let this slide, young one." How am I supposed to... He's just a block of, ice and slime. Izuku grabbed a bottle of water, an empty bottle of water, and just takes all the ice from the slime and just sucks it inside of him. The slime then turns into, mud or something like that. Izuku picks up all the slime and just puts it in a bottle and just gives it to All Might. Izuku says, "You might have thermia or something like that, so it's on your own." All Might says, "I guess. Thank you." "You're welcome." Izuku continues to walk off and just head to a gym. All Might says, "Bye, young one," and just jumps off. He doesn't really care for, All Might. And he does care for All Might a lot, but he decides not to let his emotions run. Now, Izuku's just walking, and 5 minutes later, he hears an explosion. And his first thought was probably Bakugo. So he heads back and starts running towards the direction, just in curiosity. He's probably just another villain attack, so he could probably take notes of the person's quirks. It's kind of his little hobby. Once he got to the scene, he sees people crowded over this one place. And Izuku quickly, slid through all the crowds and now is in the front. Izuku could see a slime. Same slime villain that attacked Izuku. And Izuku says, "Oh my god. Really, All Might? How could you drop him?" Whatever. "Hey, heroes, aren't you supposed to, fight that thing?" The hero says, "No, we can't. He's holding someone hostage." Izuku just looks in and sees that it is holding someone hostage. And it seems to be the same girl that everyone was looking at in school. Now, during, the whole school year, Izuku has gained a reputation for being the strongest and the most smartest one in the whole classroom. And he also cares for his classmates. he doesn't really care if they do something like outside of school or like, do stuff. But he cares if they aren't in school. He cares for their education. They care for anything, protection. And will occasionally stop bullies. Bakugo will help Izuku along the way. And sometimes they will get into fights. Sometimes they'll get expelled. Or most of the time, they'll just get off the hook for that. But Izuku just looks and sees that the girl was Ryu. And Izuku says, "Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Her? I'm at the transfer student. Aren't you supposed to help her?" The hero says, "We can't. We have nothing else to do." "Well, I have one thing you can do. Help her." The heroes just look at Izuku and says, "Shut up, kid. We're trying to think of a plan." Izuku just sighs in relief and sighs and says, "Oh, man, why must I do everything myself?" He slowly starts to walk towards the slime, and the heroes try to stop Izuku, but Izuku just says, "If you even touch me, I will freeze you to death." So the heroes are a little bit intimidated. Izuku continues on walking and just sees a slime. The slime says, "Hey, you're the damn brat that freaking freezed me. Oh, if you get any closer, I will kill her." And Izuku says, "Oh, shit. Ryu, are you still alive?" Ryu starts to, struggle a little bit and says, "Damn it, why? You?" And Izuku says, "Yo. So, you need help?" And Ryu says, "You're not a hero." And Izuku says, "Well, I could be one if you want me to." Ryu starts to yell at Izuku, saying, "There's no time to fucking flirt. Damn it." And is now struggling. Izuku says, "Well, you are a student from our class, so fine, I guess I'll help you out." Izuku starts to use his claws. Now, Izuku has finally learned how to master this part. He had this dragon claw ready and just swiped her from the slime villain. The slime villain was surprised and was confused at the same time. Ryuku says, "What the hell? How did you..." And notices the what's called the hand. Izuku says, "Well, I might as well do everything myself." Izuku lifts his hand up and a small snowflake falls on the slime. The slime villain didn't even give much notice to it since it's just a small snowflake. But once the snowflake touches the slime villain immediately gets frozen. Not even a millisecond. It's just frozen. And everyone was shocked. They just noticed someone get frozen in not even half a second. And the heroes were flabbergasted. They didn't even know what to say. And All Might was, Small Might was there and just saw that and says, "How the... this kid, he didn't even use that much, but yet he defeated him. He might be my new... Yes, he must be the person I'm looking for. My successor." And Izuku says, "Well, I'm leaving." Ryu tries to, stop Izuku and says, I want to thank you." Izuku says, "No need. You don't need to thank me. I'm not expecting anything in return. So, just head back to school when you're... tomorrow, alright? Just head back to school. Don't talk about anything that happened here, alright?" Ryu says, Alright, I guess. Izuku says, good, and continues to walk towards the crowd. The heroes try to stop Izuku and lecture him and tell him what he did wrong, but Izuku just looks at him and just says, don't even touch me. The heroes were intimidated. They didn't know what to do, and they just let him go. Izuku continued on walking, and Izuku saw a little miniature man, old man, frail. And Izuku says, do you need help, old man? The old man says, son, I want you to become my successor. And Izuku just looks at him confused and says, are you drunk? I think it might be. Do you have a cell phone for I can call anyone or, someone to call? Are you a senior? And the small man transforms into All Might and says, young man, I have appointed you to become my successor. And Izuku says, All Might? All Might, what are you doing here? Oh, wait, are you a fake? I swear if you're a fake. No, young one, I am not a fake. I want you to become my successor. Successor to what? One for All. It's an amazing quirk. Can only be passed down to other people. Izuku says, all for one? One for all? No, wait, what's it? Wait, one for all? What? Kid. It's called One for All. Alright? Oh. Alright then. Is that even possible? To give quirks and all? I think something's screwed in your head, All Might. It's impossible to give other people quirks. And or much less pass it down. All Might says, well, you're wrong, young man. I want you to become my successor. To defeat evil and become the one true hero. The number one hero. And Izuku says, oh, hooray, I guess, but why me? Well, you stopped that villain in just a millisecond. Not even, you just lifted a finger, and you just took down that villain like it was nothing. I think you are the true person for my power. A real person for my power. Izuku says, let me think about this, alright? And All Might says, alright then. I'll meet you by the beach if you need me. Izuku says, alright then. Talk to you later, I guess. Bye. He continues to walk. And inside of him, his true emotion says, oh my god, I just met All Might. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. I'm losing. Ah! He's just freaking out in the inside. But in the outside, he's trying to keep calm. His mind focused. Once he heads home, Inko just says, oh, hi Izuku. How's your day? Izuku says, I'm just tired. Oh, I made dinner? And Izuku says, no thanks. I'll eat it later. I'm just gonna take a quick nap. And Inko says, alright, I guess. Well, I need to go to the grocery store. Do you need anything else before I leave? No, I really don't need anything. Thanks, though. And heads straight to his room. He locked the door and just sat there. Then continues on to lay down and sleep. Now, I know this part is really crappy. I need to fix this, or probably need to redo this in some way. But this is my Christmas special, so don't think much. Yeah. So, like if you like it, dislike if you dislike it. And yeah, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you guys later. Bye.